So, welcome to a journey with Sekhmet. That is exactly what this is. It is a journey with Sekhmet. And I'm doing it on Zoom today purely because it's going to be a lot easier for me to share my screen and things like that. So I'm mixing up my different forums, you know what I mean? But today we are on Zoom. So because I wanted to take this opportunity, this teaching of Sekhmet is going to be very ceremonial. Okay. Lara's flow is frozen, but it's okay. She'll be back. But we're going to like kind of go into it like a ceremony. Okay. So basically the way we're going to work with Sekhmet is that we are going to connect with her frequency first of all. So we're not going to wait to the end. We're going to talk. I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm going to ask you to be interactive with me and all of those that are watching as well. It's going to be like a workshop ceremony kind of vibes, you know, and we're going to help you receive as much as you can from Sekhmet. I've already called her in. She's very much here. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go into a little bit of a space now where we're going to take some breaths and we're going to come into a quieter space. All right. So we're just going to bring some breath work in and we're just going to settle in and we're just going to ground into the space and we're just going to bring our energy together. Okay. So I just invite you. I've got this. Look at this. I have to take a moment. Sorry, you know, with Sekhmet being the son, you know, it's like her father is Ra. Okay, can we have that? I promise you, I haven't got anybody with a spotlight outside, like going cue the lights. You know what I mean? Hello, Andy. How are you, my love?
Good, and you think, yeah, made it.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, so I was just saying, Andy, that we are very much blessed with a small group today, very interactive. It is being recorded, so I'm putting this live out there. So anything that you want to share, obviously be understanding of that, but it's a teaching class. But, you know, let's kind of like bring the healing in. If you want to ask questions, I'll be pausing for that because obviously, you know, we share this light with the others and we're going to be bringing in Sekhmet and kind of like bringing healing to ourselves and other places that we need to as well through the energy of fire, through the element of fire. Okay. So you were just in a perfect time. We're going to go into some breath work now just to calm ourselves down and bring ourselves into a centered space. Okay. So now just closing your eyes and taking a nice big deep breath in. So inhale. And I want you to give a big power breath out. And then another big deep breath in. And exhale out. And then another big deep breath in. Last one, big guttural breath. Inhale. And I want you to hold the breath now. Hold. And then exhale all the way. And now I want you to bring your focus into your heart space. And if you feel called to, you may place your hands on your heart. And I want you to breathe in through the heart and out through the heart. Bringing all your attention and focus now into your heart portal. And now breathing in all the way, take your energy all the way down to Gaia and take a breath in from her heart to yours. Inhale all the way up to your heart. Hold. And exhale, breathe all the way out. Breathing in all the way up. Hold. And exhale. Now breathing in all the way up. And I want you to hold that nice healing, grounding energy in the heart. And as you exhale now, you're going to send the breath out of the crown chakra all the way to the cosmos. Exhale, pause, hold. Inhale the stars all the way down. Inhale. Hold it in the heart. And as you exhale, send your heart all the way, heart energy, all the way up to the cosmos. Hold it in the stars. Inhale, bring it all the way back down. One more breath. Exhale, sending out to the cosmos. And as you breathe in, allow the breath to settle all the way into the heart center and then hold there in the heart. One normal breath. And now pull above as below. Inhale. So from the stars and from Gaia, hold in the heart. Now exhale 360 degrees. Send your heart breath all the way out. And another breath like that, drawing from as above, so below. Hold it in the heart and then sending the energy all the way out. And then one more breath like that. Inhale And exhale. And just allow yourself to become a little more centered now. And now you can open your eyes. Just brings all the energy into the space. Okay, so Andy, can I ask you just mute yourself just while yeah, thanks. So now we come into the space. Now with everything that we work with, every ceremony that we work with, everything, getting up in the morning, you know, whatever it is, there is an intention that we must bring forth for this session for Sekhmet. So we want to think about, like, you know, what this intention is and what we're going to ask for, or what we're rather going to promise. It may be I'm going to promise to be a certain way. And, you know, when I'm in Egypt and I take my groups to Egypt, you know, we do this with Isis. It's called the Isis promise. And we work all the way through the temples. And then by the time we get to Temple Philae, you've got all of this energy building up. There needs to be some kind of promise, some kind of like devoted intention. And it brings so much power, and it helps you stay on track, and it helps you commit and turn up every day for this intention. Now, this might be something that you can just bring into your energy space and just think of, like, it's in my heart, this is my intention. Or it may be that you want to actually write this down on a pad and actually just go, right, this is my journal. This is my month with Sekhmet. And the reason I'm making this quite ceremonial is because we're going to work with this goddess for the next 4 weeks. Okay. And there's no better way than to embody a goddess or a god by turning up and meeting them every day. It's no different to having a friend where you are, you know, you want to get to know each other. You can't do it by sending mind messages. I'm sure we'll get there eventually, but right now we need to, like, you know, turn up and have coffee and get to know them. What do they like to talk about? What do you like to talk about? And you've got to build a relationship. Okay. So that's why we're going to have the power of intention. So there must be something that you want to bring in. It might even be that it's coming in for the lunar eclipse. And the lunar eclipse is all about releasing and letting go. And Sekhmet is a shadow mother. She kind of transmutes all this darkness. So, I mean, not only is she the very, very powerful healer, she's also like the mother of like transmutation. So, you know, this is a very, very beautiful timeline to be tapping into this as we move into the lunar eclipse on Saturday, which is all about embodiment. I'm going to get into that just now, because right now our journey that we are about to embark with Sekhmet is all about embodiment. It's about embodying the goddess, meaning we do not worship gods, goddesses. We do not come out of ourselves to go there, because that means that we are saying that we do not recognize ourselves as an ascended master. I am not worthy. I am not holier than thou. You are. Let me like just worship you up there. And Sekhmet specifically says, I am not to be worshipped. I am to be embodied, and I am to be understood that I am you and you are me. So we are essentially bringing our Sekhmet aspects online. And the way we do that, you know, is by turning up every day, every moment, talking to her, being with her. And we can't expect to get a bikini body if we only want to go to the gym once a month. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Believe me, I've tried. I speak from experience. So always cutting corners. So we have to turn up, and we have to build a very strong foundation of relationship. And we you know, we need to kind of open that space up. So I want you to just take a moment, and I want you to tap into what your intention actually is, or your promise. And I want you to just close your eyes, and you either write it on your pad, say it out loud, whatever you feel, because where you're going to go with this, you're going to revisit this intention all the way through the session and all the way through the month. And just feel that intention land. Feel the expansiveness of that, the promise. And now we've like anchored that in the space and the circle. That's your anchor. That's your, you know, that's where we move forward from now. Okay. So let's start with, who is Sekhmet? Exactly. And I did say in these sessions that I was going to start from the very, very, very beginning. Okay. So, you know, Sekhmet is many things, and she means many things to many different people, and she works with us in different ways. And that is the beauty of these gods and goddesses. You know, yes, you can go by the textbook and everything like that, but the only way that you're really going to know how a god and goddess is with you, for you, is by creating your own relationship with them, so they can speak to you in a certain way, because you have your own agreement with them. So, I mean, Sekhmet, she's the daughter of Ra. Ra is the sun god. Okay, so he's he's the ultimate god, okay, the big god, as they say. Amun-Ra, there was two gods that merged there, but it's so complex, the Egyptian like understanding of that. Let's just keep it simple and say Ra, the sun god. Now we all know Ra is basically the right eye of Ra is the sun, okay, and the left eye is Horus, which is the moon. So I always remember that by left lunar, right sun. Okay, so we know those eyes. I don't have anything on my desk to show you, but we have the eyes of Ra, eyes of Horus. So the eye of Ra is a very, very protective symbol. Okay, very protective symbol when you want to work with that protection. Okay, so that is Sekhmet's father. Okay, now her consort, her beloved, I suppose, is Ptah. Now Ptah, you will see him. I mean, when you go to Egypt, the hieroglyphs are absolutely beautiful. And Ptah wears like a skull cap. He's kind of like got sideburns that go like that. And he's a bit of a weird looking dude. But anyway, he's got this skull cap, you know what I mean? And he's a prophet. He's a prophet, and he's also a creator god as well. And he is Sekhmet's consort. Now they had a child called Nefertum, okay, which is their son. Now he was the god of the physicians, also known as I can never say. I always get his name mixed up, always get it the wrong way. Imhotep. Some people say Imhotep. You know, he's actually a doctor. He also built the step pyramid. He was a very powerful, gifted architect. And yeah, so he's known as Nefertum. Now, Nefertum, a lot of you will know, is actually linked. The son of Sekhmet is linked to all of the oils. Like I've just put Blue Lotus on today. Like this would be deeply connected to Nefertum. You know, he's all of the sacred oils that the Bedouins use and everything like that. He's known as the beautiful one. So he was all about flowers and incense and perfumes and everything like that, you know? So that's kind of like her family gig. So when you go to her temple is situated out, like Karnak is one of the biggest temples you've ever been to. It's like a city. Now, her temple is at the back because the Egyptians were very scared of Sekhmet. They feared her. If you speak to my partner, who I work with in Egypt, his upbringing, like he tells the story all the time. He said that when he was little, his grandmother used to tell him stories, and he says, if you don't eat your cookies, Sekhmet's gonna come and get you. And it used to terrify him because Sekhmet is like nice, hey, oh, sleep sweet, but like that's how feared, you know, Sekhmet was. So if you go back to the ancient teachings of Sekhmet, you will find her to be very, very fearsome. And like they were like, oh, she's so bad. There's something called the 7 arrows of Sekhmet, that if you didn't do right by her, she'd shoot you with her arrows. And it's like that's what would happen when you were under attack. And she was known for bringing disease. And so like if you start reading books about her, you're like, how is this goddess, like, do you know what I mean? But that's the old speak. I mean, now how we work with her, she's a powerful transformative goddess. And it's like she's also a very, very powerful healer. A lot of people don't know that. They think that she's all just fire and brimstone. But she's a very, very powerful healer. She's a protector. Obviously, she brings strength and everything like that. She transmutes because she transmutes in what they say the belly of the goddess. You know, I find that Sekhmet works with me with all of her energy field. And through her raw, I mean, she's very much about sound healing as well, which I'll get into in a short way as to how you can work with her. But she is a very, very powerful protector goddess, okay? And she's all about the fire. Now, she can eat shadow and place it into her belly and burn it up, which is a very, very good way that you can go into meditation with that. You can morph into Sekhmet and imagine yourself kind of running along, and then anything that's shadow, maybe we do that in a meditation today, you know, we consume and we transmute, because that's actually what we do as beings. That's what she's showing us, is that, like, you know, we are alchemists, and that's what she is, because she can turn low vibrational emotions and things up into high vibration. She can turn fear into courage, and so on and so on. She's a massive alchemist, you know, so which is why I love working with her. But fire is her thing, and she just burns away anything that does not serve. Now, if you read up on her in the old the old scriptures, one must be very careful with Sekhmet, as they say, because if you put her to task, because she would basically all of the pharaohs would work with her and say, right, annihilate my enemies. But you see, if you gave her the order and you said, go and get that guy in the village because he's not really great and he's not a nice character, what would happen is she could rage out of control, and she wouldn't just take the guy out in his home. She would take out the whole village plus some. And you would have to, whoa, you got to pull her back. Now, the actual teachings of her energy and frequency is when you invoke Sekhmet, you have to be humble. You have to know what you're doing, and you have to be respectful of her energy, because essentially what that story is all about is about harnessing the fire, harnessing the flames. And we know that, which again, I'm going to get into, the destruction of fire. We know that it can just rip through. I mean, look at Hawaii and just kill everything. And it's just out of control. Or if we can use fire, we can actually make a lot of good. We can do a lot of good things. We can cook food, we can warm ourselves, all the rest of it. But if we let it just go out of control, it can destroy. And that's our lesson in this life, in all lives, is to how can we harness the fire, and how can we harness our powers? Okay, so that's how we can really, really become the masters of our own existence. That's what Sekhmet is here to show us, right? So alchemist, fire, all of the above. Now, who she's connected with, and I'm going to bring this into the space now because it's very important, because it's Sekhmet will take you on a journey to these other goddesses, right? So Wadjet, okay, Wadjet is the serpent goddess. She's the snake, and she sits on the front of the pharaohs. We've all seen the pharaohs with the snake that sits here, okay? And then let me show you. Actually, this is going to be a good thing for me to show you. There's one thing I've got a lot of in this room is statues and things like that. Right. This is Wadjet there. Okay. That's Wadjet. All right. And she is a green snake. Now she sits she sits there like that. Okay. Now, she is a powerful protector goddess, and many will speak about how Sekhmet changes into Wadjet. So the two are very, very much of a one. And you'll find that with the Egyptian goddesses or gods as well, that they do tend to merge into one, and then they split and they change. And then, yeah, it's quite complex, but like I try and keep it real basic for you, as I've done for myself, to be able to work in the potency of these goddesses. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how they came into merger. You wanted to connect with the frequency, and you want to work with it well. Okay. So Wadjet is very significant because she protects the pharaoh. She protects the third eye, and she protects the psychic power, and she spits into the eyes of the enemies. Okay. So she protects this here. Now, Wadjet is, again, like Sekhmet, Wadjet, and Wadjet's sister, Nekbet, who I'm about to release a lot of channel on her. She's come in. They are the keepers. This one here, keeper of the mysteries, keeper of Upper Egypt, keeper of Lower Egypt, right? But they are two of the same, what they call the two ladies, right? Significant, important, because I will be moving on to them eventually, right? So again, I bring in Nekbet because they can all merge into these. You may read things that like she's turned into a vulture goddess, because that's what Nekbet is. You know, she's a vulture goddess, big protector goddess. Wadjet sits here. And of course, Wadjet is indicative of the Kundalini fire and energy that comes up here, which is your power, your strength and your power. We all know about Kundalini, right? So it's very, very relevant, right? Now, the other side to Sekhmet, which is probably one of the most important things, especially as my Heka Codes group on 1111 is teaching all about this, is Hathor. Okay, so we all know Hathor, the cow goddess. She's over there, but I can't dismantle her off my altar. But she's the cow goddess. She's got the solar disc, because she is also the daughter of Ra, and she's got the horns. Now, this is where it gets very, very interesting with your journey with Sekhmet. And that is why I'm sharing this with you, because when you work with Sekhmet and Hathor, it is a journey of the two. Now, Sekhmet, as we know, is all very much fire and brimstone. She's all about, like, you know, justice, order, you know, bring the truth to the forefront. She's an upholder of Ma'at, which I'm going to get into just now. She is a warrioress. She is the daughter of Ra. So she makes sure that the people worship Ra, and there's no effing around out there. She's like Ra, 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 Ra. And she's a warrior. She's the goddess of war, right? And, you know, she's kind of like quite fearless and fearsome, right? So she gets the job done, right? So now with with Hathor, okay? Hathor is the goddess of unconditional love, sexuality, sensuality, joy, creativity, celebration, drunkenness, because they used to get really like, you know what I mean? Their festivals and everything like that. Blue Lotus, she's just very sensual, right? So she's kind of like the other side of Sekhmet, or rather Sekhmet's the other side of her. So she's one of the oldest goddesses as well. So when you have those two goddesses together, you have Sekhmet, which is fire, who is a dark mother, because Sekhmet is a dark mother. She's a shadow mother. And then you have Hathor, which not many people know is also a little bit of a shadow mother, because she goes into the underworld as well. Okay, but she would be more out of the two, regarded as more of kind of like heart-based and a bit more lighter and gentler and not so scary. So you have fire, Sekhmet, and water, which is the element of heart, which is Hathor. So isn't that lovely that you have these opposing elements? You have fire and water. Okay, so that's the connection with Hathor. So I wanted to just place this in the circle, because again, I'll be referring back to that in other classes that I do. Okay, so that is like, without getting like too overwhelmed, because there's a lot to her, that is basically Sekhmet, in a descriptive way, that she is a dark mother. She is shadow, and dark must not be feared at all, because even though she like fights and she's a warrioress, she loves us unconditionally, but she loves her children fearlessly. So the reason why you're sat on this call now, or the reason why you're watching this recording and you are really connected to Sekhmet, is she has been roaring and roaring and roaring and calling her children home. And this has been a message that you guys know, because I've been putting it everywhere for a long time. And I mean, I work with Sekhmet. I work for Sekhmet. This is my mission. And she was like, bring my children home. And that's where my Egypt tours and everything like that, the purpose is very, very strong, to deliver me back to her. Now, I want to share with you this part of the story, and I don't usually do this, but I think that I'm going to share something with you so I can actually bring you into the real energy of what it's like to be in the temples with her. So let me just see here. Am I going to be able to do it? Files. Maybe not. Hang on a second. Desktop. Let me see if I can do it. If not, because I don't want to waste time with this. If I can't, I want to put the info that I put together, like what it's like in the temples. I'll put it in the circle write up, you know. Let's see. Right. Maybe if I just do that. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, I can. Right, there we go. Right, so can you guys see this? Yes? Can you all see this? Okay, so I need to talk about this picture here. Okay, so this is so when you walk into Sekhmet's chapel, okay? So you walk in, she is to the right, which I'm going to show you in a minute. A very small chapel, powerful, so powerful. Then there's a middle chapel in front of you, and that's where there is a sort of like a statue head of Ptah. He's a bit broken, but he's there. Then there's a chamber to the left, which is a small chamber, which is what you see here. And here you see us all. This was my last tour. Ava, my daughter, is in the middle. And it was the temple guards that brought Ava into the middle. It was already given to me by a message that that's what was going to happen. And it was all by order of Sekhmet. And I'm sharing this with you because this was the first display, if you like, of what she meant by calling her children home. Because when I got the message that I had to bring the children home, I said to her, I need to bring myself home to you first, which was all my pre-tours to Egypt. Like I had to go and heal myself first and deliver myself there. And then when I was strong, I said, right, now I'm going to bring your children home, which is why I'm putting out all these messages to so many people. It's time to come. It's time to come. She's calling you. So when we go to her temple, you go in alone. We don't go in as a group. You go in one, because she's been calling you, and whatever goes on between you and her is so profound and so powerful. So that's what and I want to open up the other ones here. I'm sure this is a much tidier way of me doing it, but whatever. So there we go. So that's from the front view. And you see these guards back here as well. They were there to make sure that we didn't get up to naughtiness, and they were actually in the circle with us. So that's how much this was ordained by Sekhmet. She called us, you know. Now, this is the one Okay, the one that we all know. So there's the mother. And I will post this picture because I think that you need to have this on your phone. I even look at her now and I'm sorry, but I want to cry. So when you walk in on the far chamber, this is her. This is where she's at. It's very, very small. And she doesn't look that big there. But let me tell you, when you go in there, I go straight to her feet and I clean her feet and I'm just like in honor. And I think that picture right there is probably the most powerful, true essence of her without any funny filters or anything like that. And when you go there, you can feel the vibration in there. It's absolutely incredible. So that is Sekhmet in her environment, you know. And then of course this was like, and you see this guy here, this is Waleed, you see, so we were all very much around. I mean, look at that light coming through the ceiling. Now I need to talk about that as well. So that ceiling there, you can't actually see it. In all of the temples, there's holes in the ceiling because that is Ra. That is Ra coming down to meet his daughter, okay? There is a reason for that. If we go to that temple at the wrong time of day, that doesn't happen. We have to go there late morning, okay, when the sun comes in. So as you can see, Waleed, who's my Egyptian friend, as you can see, Waleed, where we stand is right there, and you are in this shaft of sunlight. So you are in Ra, being completely blessed, and you are stood in front of Sekhmet. And you know, even my crown center's itching. It is the most powerful thing ever, being basked in Ra and seeing the mother. You know what I mean? And I'm so glad we had that photo because it just shows the perfect balance. And like I say, I've been there before and I didn't get that because the sun was in the wrong place. So
it's such a beautiful photo.
It's yeah, and I will put all these photos on here because if you want to connect with the goddess, put her on your phone 100% and just connect with her. Yeah, I get very passionate when I actually talk about Egypt. Do you know what I mean? So let me try and find so let me now try and get back to my screen now. Hang on a second, stop share. I'm sure there was a much tidier way of sharing that and putting it on here. But anyway, whatever. But now you can feel the energy of like, you know, what it's like to connect with them in Egypt. So before I move on, does anybody have any questions or things they want to share? I mean, please just unmute yourself and talk if you want to. It's a free forum, you know, so please do.
And is her temple in Dendera?
No, her temple is actually in Karnak, which is in Luxor.
Karnak.
Yeah,
yes,
Karnak.
I went there.
Yeah, yeah, and you know what? She's actually got this temple. Like Karnak's huge. It's got about 3 gods in there I think it's 3 gods that it's in honor. I think Ammon is one of them as well. But her temple is like, you're literally in Karnak. Then you've got to go off left, like away from everything. You walk all the way around the back and all the way back there, and it's tucked right near a sycamore tree. Now, a sycamore tree is very, very related to Sekhmet. But it's over there, it's tucked out the way. So it's this tiny little chapel. But I just go straight into Karnak and I go straight to Sekhmet. You know what I mean? So yeah, so she's got this small little chapel, and that black statue is where she's at. Yeah.
That's crazy because I went to Karnak and we had like a guy that showed us everything, but he never took us to Sekhmet temple. Yeah.
Oh, that's such. Well, you've got to see Sekhmet.
I gotta go back.
Know what I mean? Do you know I'm the other way? I'm the other way. Half the time I don't get chance to show everybody Karnak because I'm like, Sekhmet, we got to get there.
Yeah.
And what we usually do is we do Sekhmet, and this is the thing. Going there, I've been on lots of tours where there's lots of groups in there, and I think it's incredibly important to honor our coming home. And if we are children of Sekhmet, which we are, to have that time to walk in and just between you and her. I mean, because I gave that to myself and I was like, oh, this needs to happen. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason. It could be that you were with the wrong book group. It could be that you needed to go and do stuff first before you went and saw her. Because let me tell you, Sekhmet, oh my goodness, let me tell you, Sekhmet is so in control, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but she's in control of the whole shindig. The last tour we did, the way she was like, you're going to go there, you're going to come and see me here. Now what you see there, the guards actually closed the doors and locked everybody out. Now they don't ever do that because the work we were doing was so powerful. Now what actually happened, and I read up on this, is that Sekhmet has been known to lock the doors. Strange, spooky things happen there. And they'll go to open the doors and she's locked the doors. It's very supernatural there. You can go in there with your cameras will just get wiped out. You know what I mean? It's like the walls move. I've been there at nighttime twice and the walls are moving and I'm like, what is going on? This is crazy. Nighttime's wild, you know? So anyway, like you go there, and like, you know, you're kind of like, you know, they want to go and open the doors and now these doors are locked and they cannot explain why. Because what she used to do with her priestesses and her priests, but mostly her priestesses, she would lock them in and she would do a whole thing and then she would send them out. Now, shortly after those pictures that you saw, there was a very intense unlocking of very, very deep trauma in the female psyche that came out of the group after that. And it was on the same day. It was such a powerful, expansive thing. She locked us in there because the guards locked us in there and then she went, right, off you go. And I only look back now as to what happened and why she called us in to get some stuff done. And we were all women on that group. It wasn't a women's group. It was just, we were all women. And that's what happened. And then when I look back, she was like, yes, I was integral in every single part of that play out there. And that is what it looks like for me when I take Sekhmet's children back, which is us, that it's deeply ceremonial and is very specific. It's not just going in there and going, oh, hey, whatever. You will go back there when she calls you for good reason. And when you do meet her, it's going to be like so emotional, better than you've ever experienced. And then you'll just go, now I know why I didn't see you before, because I needed to do it in this way now. She's in control of everything. And you will meet her. You will, because you wouldn't be here otherwise, you know? And it's just like, yeah, she's got a very, very strong, loud roar, and it's undeniable. You can't deny it. And if you do, good luck with that. Do you know what I mean? I've tried to like ignore Sekhmet several times and that doesn't end well at all, you know? So yeah. So your time will be exactly as it's supposed to be, you know? So how does all of that feel? Do you feel that you kind of like understand about like her traits, about who she is and everything like that? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Andy.
I just want to say, this doesn't usually happen to me, but when you said the part about when you arrive there, you go in one at a time, my whole body went into pins and needles and like energy just moving up. It's even doing it now as I'm talking about it. This is very unusual for me. I don't have this ever. Just like absolute, I almost started shaking. It was just incredible.
I can feel it. I can feel it. I'm like goosebumping everywhere.
Feeling it now. Yeah, it's at my back. It's still moving up.
I can feel it. So this is the thing I was saying, like, you know, I mean, everybody would want to go to Egypt at a drop of a hat tomorrow, but like, what's the thing we all say? Oh, we don't have the abundance. It's not that you don't want to go. It's like, yeah, but we're fast moving out of this timeline right now. Do you know what I mean? It's because, and also as well, like I was just saying, that is a timing thing. You know what I mean? You weren't supposed to go and see her until you were in the New Earth timeline. So when everything aligns and everything kind of like, you know, especially as we move through the lunar eclipse, it's all this shit's going. And now all of a sudden there is nothing in the way between you and going when you need to go. And you will meet that goddess empowered. That's how she wants to see you, not broken. She wants to see you fiercely, like standing in front of her, like, you know, eye to eye, heart to heart. And then you will understand your purpose and your role in yourself and what it is to love fiercely, be fierce and all the rest of it, be a very, very powerful mother to others as well, because that's what we're here to do. You know what I mean? So, but we take our healing for ourselves first before we help other people up the mountain. So, you know, just by being here, Andy, it's like it's planting a seed. It's all part of the manifestation process, the alchemy manifestation process that she wants you to be part of. And I don't care whether nobody turns up to these groups, because I will record it anyway and put it out, because I know it will get to exactly the right people, because I am a conduit for her. She comes through me. So this is landing in the garden of Sekhmet. And you know what? It doesn't matter whether you want to chain yourself to the back of a cave. If you're meant to be there and she's called upon you, it's happening. It's happening. Oh, there you go. I don't know how that happens. Got a thumbs up.
Thank you so much for doing the videos. Your videos are helping a lot of people.
Say again.
Thank you so much for doing the videos.
Oh no, well, you know what? I get so excited to teach and share, because this
We
is
can
what,
tell.
this is just what gets me. I mean, my cheeks are on fire. I just get, I mean, Lara knows. I mean, I'll do this for days. I just love it. I love it. I love it, because there's beautiful beings like you that want to receive it. And it's just like, you know, and we're kindred sisters, kindred brothers for the brothers out there, you know, and it's like, we're all going to get there together. So thank you for being here. Thank you for seeing my Batman sign in the sky and hearing my lions roar, you know? So,
I have been connected to Egypt since a little girl, and I'm from Spain, so I have nothing to do with Egypt.
yeah.
So it's been very interesting, my journey. When I made it back to Egypt, like, it's incredible the things that can happen in your life.
Isn't it? Because I think it starts when we're at school and we start drawing those pictures of like Isis and the pyramids and things like that. Mine was Egypt and Vikings. I would always be drawing pictures of Vikings. You know what I mean?
See, there you go.
Yes. So obviously I need to go to, I don't know, Norway at some point, but same. And it's like, this is why I say we mustn't worry about anything, because you will go back to that sacred land. You'll probably go back again and again and again, you know?
Yes.
And everything is about timing. Absolutely everything. Even if the abundance isn't there, that's also a divine gift to make sure you turn up at the right time, because you go all the way out there and it's a bit like hitting the sweet spot before it's sweet, if you know what I mean. So everything is a process. God, I'm on my 5th trip now. Do you know what I mean? Or 6th trip, you know, and I will continue. As an old lady, I'll probably still be going out there because there's always more work. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm there for it, you know. I'll be as old as the pyramids just now, you know. So yeah. So now, like, talking about, like, well, this is a perfect bridge now, because we're now talking about going into what steps us from stepping into our power, right? From like knowing ourselves. So in a way, I've kind of given the backstory theory of Sekhmet and all the rest of it. So, you know, she turns fear into courage, because she transmutes through the fire. Okay. She turns like a rage into righteous rage, which I'm going to get into it right now, just now. And it's all about, like, you know, anything that is you know, sadness into happiness. Give this to Sekhmet, hand it over, and let her take it from you. Okay, let her fires soothe you, let her love encompass you, because she'll just step in and just be like ferocious, you know. So and she's here to help you, because remember, she's a very, very powerful healer. So when we talk about fear stepping into courage, we all have a mission. And a lot of people get that mixed up, thinking, I have a mission. I need to go and, maybe like me, hold tours to Egypt, or actually do something specific. It's not. Your mission is to get into your heart space and emanate that and live a really joyous, fulfilled life, doing whatever it is that you want, and then showing others how to do that. You know, it's almost like Sekhmet comes in at the beginning to show you how to fight fiercely for your own happiness, fiercely for your own frequency. That's what Sekhmet comes in and gives you a bit of a paw in the chest and is like, come on. And she can come in and give you a bit of an ass kicking. She does. But then the more you work with her, and what you will find as you go through the month working with her every day, this is what happened with me. I had a lot of rage. I was like, you know, I had a lot of anger. But I was just a big energy, you know, but it's like my fires were burning out of control. And bit by bit, the more I worked with her, she showed me how to harness them. And it brought me into righteous rage. Now, righteous rage is a good thing, because if you have righteous rage, you are like, you're not sat there going like burning somebody's eyelashes off their face because you're upset now and your emotions have run wild. Righteous rage is like, I am Sekhmet. I am the light. Behold the fire. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, you will listen, all that kind of thing. Very different, because that's a complete empowerment and embodiment of your fire. It's like, you know, keeping it in the vessel and not letting it come out, you know, go out of control. So that rage, that will be a process for you. You'll find, oh, all this fire come up. She's like, oh, there you go. Another opportunity to bring another layer of your power in. Because if our energy and our fire is all out there, all over the place, it's not working for you in a channeled way to bring about the alchemy that you need, the manifestations that you need, the transmutation of the shadow that you don't want that shadow. It's not going to work for you. And you're going to find that you just tire out all the time. And of course, that is as a result of like complete lack of grounding as well. And it just like adds on. So she's here to show you like how to work with those fires, right? So as I said, right? Like fires burning out of control, they can destroy rainforests. They can destroy Hawaii, places as big as that. They can destroy Cape Town. We have hectic fires, don't we, Lara? You know what I mean? And it's just like, you know, and the world is actually being on fire. So that is the perfect example of just stuff out of control. But then when you have fires, like controlled fires, like we have in Africa, where we set the forest on light for a good reason. So it burns everything and brings new shoots to the ground so we can plant and regrow. There is a renewal there. So it's like it has a purpose, and there's a purpose for it that works for you, right? So your task with Sekhmet is kind of like bringing all of this energy, which is all shadow, burning it up in the fire and transmuting it into your righteous rage, not your destructive fire. Okay. Destructive fire is going to hold all your doubt and fear and panic and all the rest of it. But when we start to work with it and you bring the fires into your being through Sekhmet in her lion's heart, through her fire, now that's going to bring everything into that, you know, it's a real centered presence. It's like, you know, you got it, you know, and fear will be a thing of the past. You know what I mean? So just talking about her other ways to work with her as well. And we're going to put all of this to practice in a meditation. Like when you work with her, like, did you know that, and you may, did you know that the purr of a cat, especially Sekhmet, can actually open dimensions? It opens your multi-dimensional pathways. It can actually do that. So when a cat, what do? They climb on your body and they will sit in certain positions and they'll just purr. And you sit there and think, oh, this is cute. But actually, no, they are actually very, very, very tuned into what you're doing. And most of the time, if you're lying on your back, they lie on your heart. So when they purr, you can actually feel that. Now, I'll use a perfect example. I have 4 Maine Coons, 2 boys, 2 girls. My boys are very, very big cats. They're the size of small dogs. Now, Odin is a very, very big, massive Maine Coon. So when he gets on the bed and he sleeps, he's like a tractor. He's very, very loud when he purrs. And he pushed his back up to the soles of my feet that were lying in bed. Usually I'd kick him off because there's no room. And this time I was like, no, he's doing something. And he was sending the purr all the way up through my feet. So when I worked with that vibration, I brought it all the way up through my thighs, all the way up through my being. And I was like, wow, he's sending energy to me. So that was something that was just like I experienced. But I also know that when Sekhmet comes in and she brings a purr in, which she does a lot in my channels, she's just settling your system. She's just bringing it all down. So remember with fire and Sekhmet, she's going to say, let's burn this and let's transmute this. And we're not scared of that. But then also there's a time for soothing because it's all about balance. There's going to be a time when she's going to say, you know, bring the purr in because she wants to, you know, rest child. You know what I mean? Nurturing. She is a nurturer. And as I moved through my own process with her of being like really ragey, all of a sudden when I channeled her, it was like boom, clack. And then when I became more harnessed with my power, her channels became softer, still fearless and fearsome, but they became softer because I became softer. So she will talk to your energy where you're at, if that makes sense. Right? So you just work with that. She's working all the way through the layers, you know? So your whole mission with Sekhmet, if you want to put it in a big way, is to work with her sound healing, her roar. She can come and stand in front of you. And when she roars, like literally I'm like that and my hair is going back and it's just like, she's like, are we done? And when she does that and she roars at my face, she's blowing all my thoughts out my head because she's like, get rid of this, get rid of it. And she'll just go, and it just like blasts everything out. And it like, wow, okay. And then she'll give me a fat purr. She'll put a paw on my chest and then she'll just purr, or on my back of my heart. So, you know, with every kind of blast, there's a soothing with her, you know? So yeah, so that's like the sound that you will receive from Sekhmet. Now, she's also an upholder of Ma'at as well. So Ma'at, you know, she is the goddess. I always like show on my tattoo is the best way. That is Ma'at, who looks very similar to Isis, but she has got the ostrich feather. So Ma'at is the upholder of the 42 laws. I suppose you could say it's a bit similar to the 10 Commandments, but she has 42 laws that you must live by. I'm not going to go into too much detail about Ma'at because that's another one of these, But she is the upholder of Ma'at. So is Hathor, obviously. So they go around just making sure people are living right and they're being authentic, and there's justice, and justice, order, balance, reconciliation, cosmic truth. That is all about Ma'at. So when Sekhmet goes around, she's upholding that. So you will find in yourself, when you connect with Sekhmet, and you probably even notice it in yourself anyway, that maybe when you meet people and you can see that they're not quite on point, might get you back up a little bit, because you're just like, that's not being authentic. They're not being true. And you might just feel it a lot, because that's your Sekhmet coming up going, no, it's not about judging other people. It's about understanding and knowing when your back stiffens a little bit and you're just like, whoa, that's a non-truth. You know what I mean? We're here to bring the truth through our lion's roar and help people step into their lion's heart, their courage, their truth, their authenticity, you know, and it's all about acceptance of core power. I mean, that really connects us to the Sphinx and everything like that. But again, another podcast we can do on another time. But it's like acceptance of core power, working with Sekhmet's lion's roar, because it's all about us embodying the lion power, okay? Which is bringing yourself back to the pride. We've all been on our own for so flipping long, and like, lions don't wander in the wild. Trust me, I live in Africa. Like, they don't wander in the wild on their own for too long. They find a pride, and then when they get to that pride, there's this absolute divine orderly structure that ticks over. The women go and kill stuff. The lions step in, the men go and step in when they feel like it, but whatever, it's still an order. Do you know what I mean? Because we get shit done. You know? So like, but there is actually an order and a structure to that community, and it works so well. Now, as like, look, go onto the videos. I observe lions all the time. I've been blessed enough to be able to do it in the wild because I live in Zimbabwe as well. I watch lions and their cubs, the love, the support, the protection. You know, daddy walks around and he's just like roaring in the morning. You want to hear a lion's roar next to your tent, your ribcage rattles. Let me tell you, it's so loud. And he is like proclaiming his power to the K's away to say, no one comes here. Boundaries are very important. This is all to do with your strength and power. So in this month coming now, Sekhmet's going to help you with that. If you're struggling with boundaries to do with family members, people, just with yourself, you know, the boundaries is the first place we stand. Ask her, help me put my boundaries in and help me find the value in myself to be able to uphold them. Do you know what I mean? So now, when we work with the sun energy, with the lions, basically they when a lion roars out there, they're actually roaring to the sun. But the thing is, they're proclaiming their power to the sun. That's what happens. But you can't proclaim your power unless you've claimed it. You can't proclaim what you haven't accepted about yourself. So first of all, you have to claim your power. And this will probably be today's meditation. It's a great place to start, that we will meet Sekhmet and we will bring our intention forth again. And we will tell her, okay, this is what we're doing. I'm ready to claim my power. And I know that you might not feel that you've got that, but that's why she's here. This is why you're going to work with her every single day. You're going to, claim your power, and she's going to assist you in doing that. Now, wait for your doors to be blown off, to be shown all the different ways where you weren't claiming your power, and you'll look at that and go, well, damn, I didn't know that was a thing. Oh my God, be open to all of these realizations that she's going to show you, you know? So the sun is all, you know, the sun and Leo, confidence, center stage, fearless, strong, but also knowing when to pounce. Okay. Knowing when to pounce, the gift of discernment, right? But also as well, knowing when to pounce, but when it comes to your shadow stuff, pouncing all the time, because they're massive hunters. So essentially, you being an embodiment of Sekhmet and working through all of your shadow and transmuting it through the fire, essentially what you're doing is you are hunting your own shadow aspects. Now it's on. Now you're, and me and Laura were having a conversation before everybody came online, and I'm going to bring 50 Cent, work with me here, 50 Cent into this very sacred circle of Sekhmet. Trust me, it's got relevance, but this is why you like me, because I really don't make sense. So 50 Cent, I was listening to a podcast with him, and he said, somebody asked him, how did you get ahead in the hood? How did you live in such challenging, violent neighborhoods? He was like, basically, if you're walking on the street and you're hustling and you see a really dodgy character across the road, you don't wait for them to come at you. You cross before they do, and you go at them, bro, before they come at you. So you basically assert yourself before you are pushed back in a corner. Now, imagine with that, just claiming your space. Think of lions. They don't sit there and go, oh, I'm not sure about this. I'm just going to be sitting under a tree and be a little bit anxious because I don't feel like being king of the jungle today because I'm feeling a little bit nervous about things. That's not what they do. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to say that buffalo's a bit big. Do you know what I mean? I know I'm starving, but I don't know about that. They just go. It's instinctual, and then their crew back them up and all the rest of it. There is an undeniable fear and strength about what needs to be done, right? So that's the thing. 50 Cent was just saying, don't let it come to you, get out ahead of it. Do you know what I mean? So stalking your prey, don't let it land with you. Look at it and go, right, what is this? You know what I mean? Does it belong here? No, it doesn't. It needs to be transformed into something else. Now, before we go into a little bit of energy work and things like that, because I also want to talk about where we're going to go after today with your rituals and everything like that. It's like, what was I going to say? Wi-Fi's just dropped. It's like, Sekhmet's wasn't important. So what was I going to say? I was going to talk about, oh yes, the shadow, just in general. Okay. When you look at your shadow and it feels a bit scary and unpreferred, and it makes you feel a certain type of way, I guarantee that when you sit with it and you unpack it and you actually see what it really is underneath there, because that's alchemy, you'll go, oh my God, what a gift. But because it looks so scary, we go, oh no, I don't want that. So what do? We try and move away from our shadow because it doesn't feel nice. We move away from our shadow because it's just stingy sore. We move away from our shadow because we just do. It's not something we want to do. But the thing is, it needs to be decoded, because in there, that is power that is waiting to be unlocked, activated, transmuted, and it wants to join your energy field of the good stuff. So the way shadow actually works, which is what we all forget, actually, you have your own energy field here and it's all good vibes. Okay. So this is a big amount of you here. Okay. Then what happens is, through traumas that have happened in your life, okay, things have broken off and gone at lower vibrations, doubt, fear, lack is all over here. So when it comes in, you go, oh no, go away, push it away. No, it's coming in because you are vibrating at a much higher level. So what happens is this energy is going, right, I'm ready to be brought back home now. I am ready to be brought back into wholeness. So it's actually screaming to you, going, hey, please, can you transform me? I want to be team you. I don't want to be out here anymore. But what do? We actually send it away and we go, no, I don't want to. We do something else to distract ourselves and just, no, we're not doing that. So don't get it twisted that the shadow is such a gift. And once you accept that that is what this is here, your transmutation, transforming, healing will be a lot more fluid. So it's all about allowance. Don't get into the story of what the shadow is. Get into the vibration of it. You are one vibrational being. This is another vibration. And the jigsaw piece puzzles don't match. So you want them to match. So what have I got to do here? Do I need to sit and get into that story there that person said this and whoa, whoa, whoa? Now you're going, of course. No, it's just energy. It's just frequency. Look at it, feel into it and go, don't need to know anymore. I just need to know that this vibration needs to match this. Now bring it in. Calling in Sekhmet to whip it up in the fires. And in fact, that's what we're going to do in this meditation, to start you off with working with your own shadow. And I guarantee Sekhmet's going to have you looking for shadow, because you're going to go, that was really cool. I feel really powerful now. I've got that piece back and that piece back and that piece back, and then bit by bit, you're going to start to kind of really grow into Sekhmet, basically. And people are just going to gravitate towards you. So there's going to be, and this is why she's the foundation goddess. This is why I always work with her, first of all, because she's the one that just brings it. You know what I mean? She's just like, this is your shadow. Don't be scared of it, And if you can face your shadow, then there's nothing else to fear in this world. I mean, really, if you're okay with that, and let's face it, we all need a little bit of density to keep our wheel turning. Because if we didn't have density, we wouldn't move. We would just be a blob of energy. And people say, oh no, it's all about the light. And I'm like, yeah, but like, then you're just a big blob. There's nothing to put any fire up your ass to make you move. You're just going to sit there and go, Do you know what I mean? So we all need a little bit of density to just keep things a little bit interesting. Toth actually says that, but we don't need to actually be completely ruled by it. You know what I mean? That's the difference, you know? So how does everybody feel about that? Anything else anybody wants to speak about?
Can I just ask a question? Because it's coming up as you're speaking.
Yeah.
In the, you know, I followed mostly the Vedic traditions.
Yeah.
But obviously very open to this now. Is Sekhmet sort of on a par with Kali?
Yes.
Feels like to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
the
her,
same energy.
that's her
Yeah.
one. Yeah. Kali. And if you're going to go to Avalon, Morgana, you know, so they cross-pollinate. And I'm sure there's like loads of others that I'm not aware of. Like, I don't know, maybe it's Freya or something. I don't know. But like they match. So you match with one goddess like that. You match with Sekhmet, 100%.
And just sorry, one more question, because I know you want to move on.
No,
Who
it's
would you
fine.
match with? Who's called the Divine Mother? Who's you know, they call Ma or
Isis.
Yeah, Divine Mother.
Yeah, Isis will be your divine mother, you know. So I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm such a supporter of, if you would sit there and say, wow, I really feel Hathor as a divine mother, I'm like, well, go with that. Because you know what, like, you know, that's who Mother Mary feels like to me, because at the end of the day, we're all frequency and vibration. And I always say to anybody, there's no right or wrong, everything is divine. So to disregard how you feel towards, like, no, it's not a plan. You know what I mean? There'd be a reason why Hathor might be feeling like the divine mother to you. And if you don't entertain that and follow that, then like, whatever, everything's one at the end of the day. But as far as like, kind of like rule of thumb, textbook stuff, Jesus is Horus. Okay. And you've got Hathor, sorry, not Hathor, Sekhmet is Kali, you know, the divine mother is Isis. You know, and you know, it just keeps leading you back to that oneness wisdom at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Because we all come back to that heart of one. And then I think as we do this, we become less and less needing to kind of like know. And I was actually in a meditation with Sekhmet the other day, and she showed me, you know, that picture I showed you of her place where she stands. I was actually in front of her. And she stood, all of a sudden, she was behind me, and she opened up her back wall as a portal. And who walked through was me, but it was the fully evolved version of me. And I had little cat ears. I was like a mini Sekhmet, but I was as big as her. And I came in and my tail was swishing, but I was fully evolved. So I connected with me, like full on, full out. And I was like, wow. And then she clicked her fingers, and then it changed into Toth. And then she clicked her fingers, and I changed into something else and something else. And she was just like, oneness. Oneness. You are in the heart of one now. And I was like, wow. So I really love labels, and I love working with specific goddesses, but also as well, where we're going, like in about 3 days, we're basically going back to the heart of one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we play, because you're a shapeshifter. You can be whoever, whatever you want to be, you know? So yeah. Thanks,
That's beautiful.
Sure, thank you. Yeah.
And I have a question about Sekhmet. And so I heard before, I don't know if it's true, that she is also the goddess Bastet.
Yes. Now, they say Bastet is actually the soul of Isis. They say that she's the soul of Isis. She's known as Bast and Bastet, something that happened in the Egyptian religion, well, not religion, sorry, history, the mythology. Something happened where, because you know these goddesses change, and she shifted into something else, which is where the split of the names became Bast and Bastet, a bit like Amun and Amun-Ra. Now, yes, she is very, very connected to Sekhmet. Again, it depends whose teachings you read and everything like that. But she's all about nurturing. And I think that that's probably, I mean, we're all aspects, aren't we? Like I've just been talking. So no doubt Sekhmet has got quite a few of them. But yes, Bastet is actually connected to Sekhmet, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. And there was another goddess that used to be, I can't remember her name now, but true story, she says, used to be the protector goddess. She was a lion goddess. She was a feline goddess, and she was there to look after Osiris. And because Osiris died, they then kicked her out as a protector goddess, and they banished her and they scratched her off all the walls, and that's how Sekhmet was born. You know, but there was a goddess that's even more ancient than Sekhmet that was the original protector. You know, but because he died and got cut up by his brother Set, his jealous brother Set, they were like, oh well, she didn't look after him, she didn't do the job. What a shame. You know what I mean? I think she might have been a leopard actually, but it was another feline being, you know. So make sure you look after the pharaoh. Otherwise
yes.
Yeah, get the job done. So Lara, anything, or are you okay?
Yeah, I mean, as you were talking about like living in South Africa and Cape Town, and obviously the fires that we have here quite frequently, the first thing that came through for me was the protea flower, which needs the fire to germinate and to activate. And I mean, I came from a very uncontrolled fire situation, and this is definitely coming through now for me for shadow work. If I think about all the things that I destroyed and just fired everywhere, like I just let the fire spread and finally come out and through, and to not even label it yet as passion or destruction, but just to let that fire surge through, and then in reflection realize, oh, you know, that was actually pretty destructive and didn't work. I burned the village instead of just the bad guy.
Right.
I mean, I work with Halima. She was an energy that came through for me first. But I mean, the first time I met you was with a Sekhmet ceremony. Yes. And once again, like maneuvering and manipulating that fire energy into something productive. It's awesome. So now I've kind of got like a visual with the protea flower. So that's
and that's what I'm saying, like, you know, it's going to cross-pollinate in all sorts of places, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Your relationship to fire, you know, and just how powerful fire is. Like, you know, you could do something on the full moon where, you know, you write your full moon wishes or whatever, and then you burn the paper. I do that often if I'm not in a space, you know. It's so powerful, you know. And also just anything. I mean, I've always got candles burning, you know. You'll start to become so aware of Sekhmet's presence. She's the lady of the flame. And fire, it's you know, it's and fire gazing as well is really, really powerful, you know. And then of course when you start to bring, once you kind of get to that point and you then move into Hathor, then you kind of like, you know, use the waters, because let's face it, you know, if you're too cleansing, it's like a little bit like, you know, whatever. And if it's too much fire, Sekhmet and Hathor will just naturally come in. Period. Do you know what I mean? It's just the natural process. So, I mean, whether you do the Heka Codes course or not, it really doesn't matter. She's going to come in, you know, and, you know, that process is just natural. And the only reason I was able to put that Heka Codes group together with Sekhmet and Hathor was purely for my own process. I was like, it got to a point with Sekhmet that all of a sudden I had the hand of Sekhmet put in the hand of Hathor. And I was like, oh, what's going on here? And then I merged into my softer priestess side. So now I'm really kind of like the embodiment of that oneness now. So it doesn't matter. You will just naturally work through Sekhmet, and then you'll just feel the merge and the shift, and then you'll go into Hathor. Or you may come in. So for example, somebody might come to me and they might be really in their like powerful kind of like heart vibes, but they lack the fire. Like, I'm like, come, let's go, let's do it. You know what I mean? And they can't do that because they're just like, oh no, I'm a bit too priestessy. They need balancing up. Whereas like somebody like me in the beginning, I had way too much fire, way too much like, wow. And I was like, you know, all over the place. And now I needed to go, I came in through Sekhmet, and now I've come completion on with the Hathor. So it really depends on which side you came in. Quite interesting, actually, you know, but we all end up in the same place, which is like right here. You know, so yeah, it's kind of rad, isn't it? You know, so yeah, they're like, yeah, it is. That's why we built Egypt. It's kind of a cool place, you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take us into a meditation. I'm gonna I always run over. Guys, I always try and watch my time, but I might run over by 5 minutes. I hope that's okay. If you guys have got to go, you can always watch the recording. But I want to go through your, like, what your rituals sound like, you know, after we finish our meditation. So we're now going to go into a meeting, Sekhmet, and we're going to devour the darkness, and we're going to, you know, use our lion's roar, and we're going to, all of those things we've spoken about, we're kind of going to just put it into practice a little bit. Sekhmet's going to come in. So all you have to do now is just receive a little bit more. Find yourself in a comfortable space. Okay. I'm going to take my video off just so it's a nicer image rather than my eyes rolling back and being all weird. So I'm just going to put my, take my video off, but you can still hear me. Okay. So I'm going to now take you into a really nice meditation, transmutation. And I just want you to just bring your intention to the forefront now. I want you to just really kind of like bring the intention, what you're calling in. Because remember, now we're really, really going to place this in the fires, right? We're really going to place this with Sekhmet. And we're essentially calling her in, if you so choose it, full on, full out, like, this is what we're going to do. Essentially, what you're saying to Sekhmet is that you are ready. You are ready to be initiated into the mysteries of Sekhmet, and that you are open to all the healing. You are open to all of the guidance. You are open to, you know, to know yourself, to have the courage, transmuting the fear, to walk through the fires, but to know that you are walking through the fires to know thyself. And there are always, always, always love, so much love around you, so much love. So now start to take some nice, slow, long, deep breaths. So breathing in, take the breath all the way to the top of the crown and exhale. And just allow your breath to just rise and fall. Just becoming aware of how the belly rises, the chest rises. Pausing and then exhaling, letting it all go. And feeling your light bodies as well, your energy bodies. Just relax. And we call in Ra now. Ra, we call on your beautiful sun, as he emanates and bestows those beautiful sun rays down upon us, holding us in the golden pyramid of protection as we bask in this beautiful solar energy. And now, as we close our eyes even deeper now, kind of closing the eyes to go into the soul. Start to breathe now, breathe into the heart space. Closing off the back of the throat and bringing in the Ujjayi breath, a bit of the ocean breath. Bringing sound to your divine breath. And with each inhale and then exhale, feel yourself moving into your heart portal. As you breathe in, you feel the heart expand. As you exhale, you feel yourself enter deeper within. Allow your breath to take you. You find yourself now floating deep within your inner cosmos, knowing that you are preparing yourself to travel, allowing yourself to be held by your higher self, your guides, your council of light. All is well. And as you start to go now, in your mind's eye, an image starts to form, and you can feel yourself being drawn to this place now. And first of all, you look down at your feet. For you are in a foreign place now. You look down at your feet, you are barefoot. And you wiggle your toes and you connect with like pebbles and dust and dirt. And as you're looking down at your feet, you can sense and feel around you that the air is quite arid. And as you look up above you, you are greeted by a midnight blue sky. The sky is so beautiful. So many stars. And the Sirius star above you gives a little twinkle, recognizing you and acknowledging your starseed self on the earth. As you look ahead of you now, you see this beautiful sycamore tree. In the silhouette of the dark night, you become very well aware that this is the tree of Sekhmet. You start to walk forward now because you've now realized that you are indeed at her sacred chamber. And you stand before a stone doorway. And you look down into the depths of the temple, albeit a small temple. But you can feel her energy, and you can sense like a mild growling, but you're not fearful, more of anticipation. So as you stand in the doorway, you place your hands on the walls of the doorway. And you take some heart breaths now. You breathe in as above from the cosmos, breathing in from the earth into your heart. And as you exhale, you're sending a heart breath out to this divine space, announcing your energy and through the deepest respect for Sekhmet. You can now continue to walk in. Slowly, heartfelt, and very aware of how you place your paws on the ground as you walk, walking lightly like a lion, very mindful of each step. And here you stand before the great doors of Sekhmet. You have been here many, many times before. And as you place your hands on the doors, they just magically open, for your frequency is very much aligned with this place. And you enter into this chamber. And as you walk in, it is very dark. Very, very dark. But you do not fear. You know that you're here. You're here for a purpose. Then as you step in, you announce yourself. Dear Mother Sekhmet, it is I, your child. I have returned home. Beloved Mother, I call for your power, your blessings, your love, your nurturing. For it has been a long journey. I wish to know you once again. I wish to know you once more as I did back in the past lives of my priestess days. For I am a priestess rising now, or priest. And I am here. I am here. I am here. And you bow your head. Your body feels a little weary, for it has been a long journey. As the words fell out of your mouth, you acknowledged your path has been long. You place your hands on your heart, just breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And then suddenly, as you're looking down, you just see a glow of golden and red energy all around you. This chamber starts to light up, and magically on the walls, there is a sudden explosion of the fire lanterns. They all just come alive. And this whole chamber is now lit up. And it gives you a little bit of a startle. But as you look up, there she stands. You are faced before none other than Sekhmet. She stands before you. She's a lot bigger than you remembered. Her tail flicking, flashing, like a little bit annoyed, but you're not quite sure what kind of mood she's in. However, you bow your head because your heart is thumping and you are so happy to be home with her. She looks down at you. Her eyes are green. Sometimes they're red. Sometimes they change colors, but they are green. And she can look down at you, and she walks around you. And you can feel her energy as she walks around, very slowly around you. You're not quite sure what she's doing, but as she walks a little faster now, you can feel that she's spinning a vortex around you. She is aligning your energy with hers. Allow this to happen now. You take your hands from your heart and you just feel more relaxed now. You feel more settled. And then she stands before you. Look up at me, dear child. For it is I, Sekhmet, your mother, your dark mother, who loves you fiercely and fearlessly. It is now time for you to come home. It is now time for you to remember, reunite, call home the remembrance of what it is to be a priestess or priest of Sekhmet. For there are many gifts and powers that you have once held in the mystery school, and it is now time for you to give your sacred yes to bring these back online now. Do I have your sacred yes? You may answer out loud or in your mind's eye. It is done, she says, it is done. And with that, she waves her arms, and suddenly there is a massive fire pit in front of you. And there are these flames that just glow. They are flashing yellow, flashing red, flashing all of these different color flames. And there is gold sparks coming off it. So it looks so much more than a fire. It's an explosion of frequency. And you feel your heart, your lion's heart, suddenly ignites within you. You do not know what's going on. So you just breathe into your lion's heart that has been ignited by the sacred fire of Sekhmet. Breathe into it, for your power is coming online now. She then says, speak your intention clearly, loudly, intend it to the fire. So I ask you to do that now. She now commands and calls to your energy field, to your being, to your higher self, actually, anything that is of shadow, that is in the way of this intention, of this power, of this sacred fire of Sekhmet. I call for it to be revealed now. So allow that energy to come up with your intention, with your fear, with your promise. What comes up? Doubt? Fear? Who am I to do this? Who am I to ask for this? Heartache? Do you feel unloved? What comes up for you, sweet one? What comes up for you? Allow it to rise. Open your heart. Wider. Bigger. Allow it to rise, because it doesn't serve you. Just like a cork floating to the top of the waters, you feel all this emotion, all this density just coming up now. You feel it popping out into all sorts of places, but it is not part of you anymore. They are calling to be transformed. All of these shadow aspects that you thought was fear is actually untapped courage. Your doubt is saying, please call me home, because I'm your courage. Your fear is saying, please call me home, because I am your fierceness. And as you start to tap into all of this shadow, suddenly you realize it is now time to alchemize. And with that, Sekhmet now calls. She says, step into the fire now, dear heart. You don't even think about it. You step into that fire now. All of that shadow that is sitting in your energy field now gets transmuted. Feel it just rushing and popping. Let the fires go to where it needs to. Feel it swirling around you. Feel your chakras being cleared out, all of it. And then it gets to such a peak. Let the fire build. Let the energy build. Deep breathing now. Deep breathing. Bring it up. Inhale, exhale. Bring it up. Ignite the heart fire, the lion fire. Inhale and exhale. And as you peak now and you get to a crescendo, there is an almighty roar from you. And there is an explosion of fire in you, around you, beyond you. You then become aware that your lion's tail is starting to flick around, just as you saw in Sekhmet when she stood before you. Suddenly your third eye comes online. Suddenly your throat chakra blasts out. You found your roar. You found your voice. This strength and volume from your throat chakra has basically awoken everything. Keep it open. Keep it free. Now your energy field is so big, and what happens now is there is a sudden harnessing of this massive fire within. And even though you've expanded out, you've now claimed this fire within you. And there is a balance that your energy field has got bigger, but your fires have ignited inside, but you have harnessed these fires. You stand with your chest puffed out. You feel strong, powerful. Your heart energy, very, very strong. Sekhmet is walking around the flame. She's just smiling and nodding and just nodding like, yep, I told you. She keeps walking around because she's cleaning energy, you see, because felines do that. They clean energy. She's doing exactly what she's meant to be doing. She's moving around. She's clearing everything for you. And then she stands behind you. And suddenly, as she speaks a sudden burst of light language, the orange flames and fire turned into iridescent blue-white light all around you. And then the flames just drop. Like as quickly as they came, gone. And you stand there, but you're in your feline form. You're in your Sekhmet form. There you stand. And now she stands really close behind you. You can actually feel her breathing on the back of your neck. And she places her paw on the back of your heart, and she starts to purr. This purr is resounding. First of all, it works all the way up through your throat chakra, but you really feel it through your ears. Like your whole temple, your head is just vibrating. It's like she's blasting out any distortions, blockages in your ear chakras so you can hear her talk to you. She needs you to hear her, both ears cleared. She needs you to speak and use your lion's roar, throat chakra cleared. Wadjet is very much around you as she sends that aspect of her through your third eye cleared. Crown chakra expanded, open. Everything's aligned. Allow that purr to now self-soothe all the way down through your being. Allowing the energy from your heart to run all the way through your elbows and your fingertips, because this is how you express love. If you have blockages in your arms, elbows, fingertips, how can you give love? How can you be? How can you be? Allow the purr to come all the way down into the stomach now. Soothing all that transmute, like debris, you know, the fire's got rid of any ash is just being purred into, into infinity, anything that's residual. And you feel this vibration just go all the way down into your feet until this whole powerful chamber that you stand in is just a different vibration from when you walked in. And now as you look around, there's almost like an angelic light here. It's a lot softer. Sekhmet now stands before you. And you're a little shocked because she's a pure white lion version of her now. Her eyes are electric blue. Her third eye is glowing in iridescent aqua blue. Her fur is just angelic white. And she's just shapeshifted. And you can see your reflection in her beautiful blue eyes, and it just soothes you. And she just places her hand on your heart, and then she just whispers into you close, now you know. Now you know. And with that, she steps back. It is time for you to leave this place now. For she has made it very clear this is just the beginning. And you will come back here time and time again to meet with her. Call it your boardroom, she says. And then as you start to leave this place, you just feel more and more expanded. Each foot you take, each step you take, leaving this place, you feel your energy field grow more and more. It's almost like you're more expanded the more you step away. Beautiful. And now coming into your physical body, where you sit now, I want you to bring all of this home with you. It's just dimensions, that's all. Bring it all into your physical body, all the way down into your feet, all the way down into your Earth Star chakra, grounding a little. But this is coming with you. You leave nothing behind. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes and then come back onto the screen.
Wow. Amazing. Wow.
This
I have
is
no words.
Oh my God.
I want to cry because that was just like, phew.
Oh, I am crying. I am crying.
I cried too.
I am crying.
It was such a beautiful energy.
Yo. And she came as a
Oh,
white lion at the end. I didn't expect that. Well, even though the weird thing is she just like, obviously when I'm channeling it through, she was just like, well, that's the picture you put on that's me as well. I was just like, well, I just thought it was a cool picture of a white lion, which could be you. She's like, it's me. It's me.
That was
So,
amazing.
oh, I'm so
oh,
glad. Well, thank you guys for receiving, because I can only go
sure, of
there for
course.
those that want to receive it. So,
Yeah,
you
it
know,
was just unbelievable. And you know, it's so incredible because I love synchronicities and the timing, everything just tied in with like what I've been experiencing lately. It's always synchronicity,
yeah,
which
Yes.
shows then you just go like, okay, it's
don't
the
have to worry
timing
about a
is
thing.
the
Like we were,
timing is right.
yeah, like we were saying earlier, that like, you know, your timing to go to Egypt to go and meet her, it's like everything's perfect. Even back
Yeah,
then,
Yes.
it
everything's fine.
was perfect,
Mm.
you know?
And when
And like,
and
yeah,
when you say that say yes to receive your energy and be a high priestess again, I got like the major chills, like I was like shivering.
yeah.
It was very neat.
Yeah, so that tells me that when you go to see her, that will be in your priestess power. That, like, you know, she's calling you back to meet with her at a certain level of evolution that you're going to have, and then she'll take it from there. I had to
Yes.
go and meet her all those years back there because I had a mission for her. She was like, right, you're the one who's going to go and round everybody up for me, whether I bring them to her here or Egypt. I just find every
Okay.
different avenue I can get us there, you know? So
Mhm.
that was my journey, that I had to go and see her broken, very broken, so I could fix myself and do my journey. That was why. So like now we're doing that. Like there's many of you that are so connected to Sekhmet. She's your mom. So she's like agreed to
Yes.
see you in the New Earth timeline. So what has she got for you? Like, you know, what are you going to do with her? Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, but we come together in community. We're all in the pride, aren't we? We're all the pride of lions, you know? So I just wanted to pick a card and see what comes up here. Akashic Stargate, aligned with purpose,
Wow.
crossroads, no wrong path.
No kidding.
So there's that one. I
Okay.
always like to do the power of 3 because I'm all about that. Palladian activation, coming together, harmony in the heavens, resolution. Okay.
Wow.
And then Shambhala initiations, retreating to recharge, trusting in the process, Dharma.
Oh
There
my
we
God.
go. So there we have it. And also knowing that this time with the night, we are, be so gentle with yourself and retreat. And be soft, because like where we're going over this lunar full moon and everything like that, we just need to, you know what I mean? We just need to float into it a little bit. So be super gentle with yourselves. And of course you can go back to this video and rewatch it and take notes and everything, but like just to kind of like give you like ideas for your ritual in the morning now. So when you call her in, okay, in your meditations, you don't have to make it heavy. And if she doesn't turn up for you, don't feel it, walk away, it's fine, she's with you. But it's just, don't get frustrated with the channeling process. But in the morning when you do your meditation, this is how I do it. I always use the I am prayer. I am Sekhmet, I am. I am Sekhmet, I am. I am Sekhmet, I am. And I say it 3 times and I feel that energy come in and I feel her presence. So from there, channel write her or take a card out, start a conversation with her, you know? And it's just like, yeah, maybe just put an altar in her name, like maybe put a lion card up on your altar. And if you don't have an altar, do something, put a cat, a picture of Sekhmet on your phone. All of these ways she knows that you're honoring her, and they're all portals that she can come in to you, to be you. So it's a bit like anything. God, you know, we're all into Star Wars and Care Bears. I mean, we got the t-shirt, we got the sticker book, we got the bag for school and the lunchbox, and I did anyway. And I think like we just got into it, and Care Bears was everywhere, wasn't it? So have fun. And like, you know what, just you know, just do everything feline, and that's going to just bring the energy in. But every day when you call her in, I am Sekhmet, I am 3 times, and then you might be given your own mantra to bring her in, but then there you go. But sit with her every day, spend time with her, and the reveals are going to be crazy. And please feel free to share with me, because on Circle you can put in there. I've also uploaded a video to Circle I've uploaded a meditation for you guys to use, which is about putting your intention and everything. It's one of the Sekhmet meditations I actually have pre-recorded. It is in circle, but I've just put it here, like in circle for ease next to this event, you know? So yeah, so lots to work with, guys. So we'll do this for a month, and then I will move on to another goddess, you know, perhaps it'll be Hathor. I don't know. I'll just get the download. But may the force be with you and the fire, you know? So yeah.
Can I ask you something really quick?
Yes, please do. Yeah.
What cards are they? The what you were using? What's the name? They're so
these
beautiful.
Cards. These ones, I will post it on the group as well. Gateway of Light Activation Oracle by Kyle Gray. These are really lovely cards. They've got the tablets of light in them. They've got Sekhmet in them. They've got Horus in them. Brilliant.
I actually have them.
Do you? Okay, they're awesome, aren't they? So don't worry, you're not missing out on anything. You got them, you know, but yeah, beautiful.
I left them in Egypt, so that's why I'm so funny.
Did you really?
I did. We have a little apartment there, so we go back.
Oh, wow.
And I left my things that I wanted to get the energy of Egypt in there.
Well, that's
my
crazy.
crystals and all
Because
that.
you see here, like all of these are oracle cards, and I could have picked any one of them, and I picked these ones, which are your cards that are in Egypt. Like no synchronicities, none whatsoever. But girls, thank you so much for joining. Oh yes, sorry, yes, yeah.
Sorry, no, just a quick question. I don't know why, but when you were showing the photographs, when you were all in the tent, none of the photos came up for me. Is there any?
I'll post them on the group. I'll stick them on the group, you know. So it might just be that maybe your app needs upgrading or something like that. So whatever, I'll pop it on the group. I'll tag you so you can go in and have a look, see, because it just helps you to connect with that energy.
That photo looking down on you, all of you in that little that's
so powerful. And I've not actually shared a lot of them because they've been so sacred. I've just needed to sit with them, but now she's kind of said you can share them, because I was just sitting like keeping them here, and she's like, no, you can. I shared a couple of them, but it was like, now I need to, because now we need to really feel it and know what it really is like to be in ceremony with her. So yeah, I'll put those up there so you can just tap into the energy of it, and any others I find as well. So, and anything you need, guys, just pop me a message on Circle. If you have a problem with anything, just let me know and I'll help you guys out. Okay.
Thank you so much. That was amazing.
I'm really high now.
Yes, flying.
Lots of love, my Sekhmet sisters. I will speak to you soon. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.